Good.
Okay.
All right, so the first sort of conversation I want to have is about the tripod or the base itself. When you purchase a larger robot, it comes with a base. The Colossus has its motorized base, the Mia has its base, Bob back there, different Kuka robot has a base as well. And that is part of the cost, that is part of what you're paying for in that robot. And that also is part of the reason why this robot is so affordable. Again, I don't want to say cheap, it's so affordable because you are sort of forced to come up with your own base. What Motorized Precision recommends as the, in this case, cheapest option is a Pro-Aim tripod that has a Mitchell mount because it is a Mitchell mount on this robot. And I think that one goes for like $450 or $500 or something. I come from operating jibs, so I did own a couple of these Kessler K-Pods where I would put a jib on and they hold like 500 pounds, they're very solid, and I have them with wheels. So I thought it actually would make a good base for this robot. The only thing I needed was the Mitchell mount conversion, which I had to pay for, and it is pricey. Everything Kessler is pricey, but the good news about the Kessler is so well machined and it's good hardware that you can find hardware in good shape in the used market. So yes, this part is expensive, but this you could potentially source at a cheaper price. I did pay something like extra $600 or something for this conversion here. But again, I'd rather pay for this since I already have the tripod versus buying a new Pro-Aim tripod without reels. So I think it was worth going this route. We'll find out now as we put it on, the pros and cons and whatnot. One of the purposes of having a large base in those robots is that it's also very stable. That's the heavy part actually of the robot. The robot itself is not as heavy as the base because once you stretch these arms out, you know, the torque downward, if you don't have a solid base, you'll topple over, you know? In this case, it's only a 2.7 feet stretch, but you know, with a 10-pound weight and the robot itself is 40 pounds, if you don't add the weights onto the tripod, then you'll be in trouble. When I see these cobots mounted onto the bases, they, you know, pack these legs with weights here. For my own personal work, being that I will likely be using this in an operating room, I don't want this, you know, bulky thing here. So I was thinking in the last month of how to avoid that. And one of the ways that I came up with is using these swing belts to wrap around the base of this tripod with these hooks. Each of these can tolerate, I think, is 200 pounds. So I can very easily put like a 25 to 35 pound sandbag here and 3 of them, and they'll be weighed here. So now I have still the same sort of frame as a tripod with a lot of weight here centered. Not only that, but also there was this big space here in this mount that I decided to add 3 5-pound plates here. Whether this is going to be an issue, we'll find out now when we put the robot on top, because there is a screw that goes here from the bottom to lock it onto the Mitchell mount. But I think I left enough space for it to be okay and a hand to fit in and sort of tighten it. But you know, we'll find out again. Maybe I'll need to take one more. But I figured 3 25s or 35s, depending, we'll find out ourselves here. Plus these extra 15 would probably be enough and give me sort of a, you know, tripod base. Cool. So why don't we get this guy out and let's get started. You know, it's only 44 pounds, so okay. I think I may be able to hold it, and then you unscrew that from the back. Does that make sense? So let's bring it out. Yep. You're taking it out. Oh, wow, okay. Once it's out, it's not heavy at all.
Let's just set it down here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nicely machined threads.
Yeah.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah. See, it does have like all these little markings, but it's not. It just comes with. Yep, okay. And that will go through the bottom. Yep, I'll grab it and then. Cool. Ready?
Hey, up.
Okay. Here we go. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead and.
All right.
Okay, let's see. You got it.
Okay, plenty of space. Like I said, I was concerned about the height of these guys. Yep. Go under there. Yep, so I got it here. Yep.
Always have good support on it.
Mm-hmm. Now there's nothing to screw here directly into the mount, huh? That's the only thing holding it, okay. Okay, good. EVO 12. probably fit another 5 in. Nah, it'd be too tight, huh? I can fit my hand there if you want. It's easier. Yeah. Yep. So this is the only thing holding it, right? And there's nothing. Oh, you fit that.
Yeah, there's there's an alignment
Got it.
notch.
Okay, great, good. There's only one, right? So yeah. Okay, so as long as it fits into one of those, then okay, great. Yeah.
All right.
So. All right. So this is interesting. Great, looks pretty tight. Here it is. Very nice. It's got some it's got some markings here. Again, this is all case related, I think. And again, it comes with it being a matte robot. Very nice. Maybe bring this onto the light. Here is the camera mount that was purchased. And I think it's Arca Swiss, I hope, because that would mean that it's pretty universal and I can fit any. To test that, I have an Arca Swiss plate of my own here. And it is Arca Swiss compatible. Beautiful. Great. So in theory, I could use any. It's a little loose, but I think I can always tighten that here. So that looks great. So it is Arca Swiss, which is good. Our camera, when we get there, we'll deal with mounting it. For now, I removed it. Okay, so I think what we should do now is add the weights. Can you grab me 325 bags? They should be kind of behind the Mia, under that rack. So far, it feels pretty solid on this, which I'm really liking. And then I'm able to move it. Another thing about this tripod is that it is very tall compared to a traditional tripod. You know, the lowest, like that Pro Aim tripod at start is like up here. There you go, yep. Maybe, can we use the shorter, these ones, so that it's tighter? Yep, okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. I'm liking that it is holding kind of how I envisioned it. The shorter one, yep. Oh, hold on. There you go. Beautiful. And another one back here, which I will grab. Yep. And then let's see if they fit. So that was my one concern, but we'll see. Yep. Okay. There you go. Yep. There you go. So again, I'm open to being proven wrong that this is not the right way of doing it, and then I'll still be forced to put the counterweights out here. One test to run is to run a high-speed move for this robot with the weights here versus on the legs, and compare the stability, I think. There is an aspect that concerns me about stability. When you put the weights on the legs, it may provide some extra stability onto the leg, and this shake may be reduced a little versus in the center. So, you know, we'll see what the results of that test eventually, and then that'll determine if I will be forced to do what everybody does and put the weights here versus keep them in the center like I have them now. Okay, cool. It was brought up as a good point that I should probably get rid of the wheels. It's a big plus for me to just be able to, you know, like push it in and out, especially when I'm in the operating room and an emergency happens or something. I want to be able to, is this locked yet? To just quickly be able to push it in and out. And actually, I may still keep them for my own medical work because it's slow movement, so it's not a big deal. But certainly, if somebody hires me to do some quote-unquote high speed, even though it's not the right robot for high speed, it's not a fast, relatively robot, there is still some play, as you can see. And you're right, it mostly comes from the wheels, right? The wheels themselves and the way they're mounted onto the tripod. So probably if I was to go for something commercial, presuming that they want some sort of fast move, I'm better off probably putting the little feet, I guess, yeah. And that would eliminate a lot of this right here, right? Actually, we may even see this in slow moves too. I may just be screwing that and not.
Efficient to have the wheels because you can move around wherever you want to, but honestly, at the end, you don't want any shake on the video.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
It depends on what it is, because like depends on what camera you're mounting as well, right? How much weight do you have on it? Where it's like once it hits that stop, like how slow is that stop?
Yeah.
Because if it just creeps into that stop and then moves to somewhere else, I don't see that. You know, like I think having the wheels is definitely an option, especially for what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
But for high speed, like ultimate stability, it's without the
feet. We spoke earlier too about potentially, having those weights there. Tom was bringing a very valid point of this is maybe too centered here. We want a little bit of weight more, outwards. And we did mention that adding extra sandbags around the wheels may suffice in terms of adding more outwards weight and stabilizing those wheels. But I do think, I do agree with you guys that I think the wheels have got to go. It's just going to be about a test. My main concern is that if I'm running this in an operating room and I'm right next to the surgical bed and something happens and I need to pull back, some sort of emergency or something, certainly with feet, I mean, I'm trying to lift this myself and getting it out of the way. You know what I mean? With 25, 30, you know what I mean? It's I'm not going to be able to do it. It's reality. So being able to just click and pull back, it's a big plus for me, right? But again, I think I'll have to test in terms of how much of this can you see. Well, I mean, dude. Yeah, I think we got to go, dude.
We'll do our testing.
Yeah, we'll do more testing. But sir, I mean, look at this. I'm concerned already. It's it's pretty shaky, dude. I think
you still kind of catch the vibration.
Yeah, how Efren said, when you reach the stop, that's when it's gonna boom, get that.
We get that on the bigger robots too.
Yeah, we get that on the bigger robots. Yeah, for sure,
for
sure.
So it's
absolutely.
Like, it's one of those how to work around that.
Yeah.
Delay that start and that ending.
If you wanted, and again, the endings are not going to be that fast abrupt, on my moves. Yeah, abrupt on my work. But again, if I get hired, assuming that they want that, which is probably what they will want, if it's not for the multi-pass sort of repetitiveness of a robot, then yeah, I think the wheels will have to go. So sad but true. Sad but true. Okay. Probably keep them on for now for this go, but all good thoughts, good thinking in terms of again, that's the idea of building this guy the best we can.